Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have a super exciting luxury video for you, and I'm going to be reviewing a 5-year review of my Cartier Love Bracelet. I also, since that time, purchased a second Cartier Love Bracelet 3 years ago. So by now, I've really had some time to kind of test out these bracelets, and I'm really excited to share with you guys my true, honest opinions on the wear and tear, and whether or not I think these bracelets are worthwhile purchases. So if you want to check out everything I have to say about my Cartier Love Bracelets, definitely keep on watching. For those of you who might be new, thanks so much for checking this out. I am a full-time working mom, but in my spare time, I really love putting out these videos on fashion, beauty, mommy lifestyle, in addition to reselling as well. So if those kind of things sound at all interesting, definitely check out my other videos linked down below, and please also consider hitting that subscribe button too. So if you've been watching my channel at all, you will know that over the past few months, I made several luxury purchases, and I went to Vegas a few months ago and did some shopping at Cartier. I will link some of those videos down below, and in one of those videos, I unboxed my new Just to Include Cartier ring, and in the comments of that video, several of you did request a video like the one I'm about to do today where I review my love bracelets. So I'm hoping you find this video helpful. I know that whenever I go ahead and decide to make a luxury purchase, I watch a ton of YouTube videos, I read reviews online, and really try to get a sense if I think that item would work out for my lifestyle. So I really hope you can find this video helpful if you're considering making these purchases for yourself. So just a few tidbits about the Love Bracelet first. So the Love Bracelet was designed, I believe, in 1969 or the 1970s. And since that time, it really has become an iconic piece in the Cartier line. I'm sure you have seen this love bracelet everywhere. It's definitely becoming oversaturated, even more these days. But it's just an iconic, classic, simple style. And it has, as you know, the nail head details, as I'll show you in a few minutes up close, and the beautiful simplistic oval design. And they come in several sizes, several different types of metals, and even diamonds as well if you're interested. So I decided to purchase my first love bracelet, like I said, exactly 5 years ago now. And I decided to purchase it as a push present, or I convinced my husband to purchase it for me as a push present for my third child. And, you know, prior to that, my other children, I did get push presents. I was very lucky in that regard, but none really as luxurious or extravagant. But at that time in our lives, you know, we'd been working for a while, saved up for a bit, so I finally wanted to get my first piece from Cartier. So I decided to select the Love Bracelet because of the sentiment behind it. So as you all probably are aware, these bracelets are very special based on how they are attached. So there are 2 screws on either end of the bracelet, and I'll show you this up close in a few minutes. But the idea is that the person you love screws this on your wrist, and you essentially don't take it off. Of course, you can take it off if you want to unscrew it, but really, I don't take these bracelets off. I wear them every single day. So the sentiment behind it I thought was really special and really commemorated the birth of our child. And I loved it so much that I went ahead and got my second love bracelet with the birth of my 4th child as well. So the really nice thing about jewelry, especially designer jewelry, is oftentimes people make these purchases based on meaningful times in their lives, and that was definitely true for me. So every day when I look down at these bracelets, I have really great memories of going to the boutique with my kids and my husband and picking these bracelets out. And I definitely am intending to pass these bracelets down to my daughters. So I have 2 daughters, so I'm hoping that each of them will inherit one of these bracelets. So I did disclose my plan to my kids, and they are already checking out these bracelets. Even my 2.5-year-old is saying, "That's my bracelet, mommy." The main thing that I keep reminding them, though, is that they do not decide when they inherit these bracelets. I will decide that. They definitely are way too young for this, obviously, but we'll see going forward when I decide to actually pass it down to them. But that's the goal. I think these pieces are totally iconic, will never go out of style, and will still be really popular when my girls are older too. So I just love that about this jewelry. So just a quick comment, of course, I have my Just to Include bracelet here and the ring that I did unbox recently. I will not be reviewing these pieces because I got these more recently and I want to test them out a little bit longer, and I will definitely promise you a future review of these pieces in case you're interested. So for these love bracelets, The ones I have on my wrist here, this is the original size. So by that I mean the width of the bangle or the bracelet is 6.1 millimeters. As you are probably aware, recently Cartier put out a smaller version, so it's called the small love bracelet if you look for it online, and the width is 3.65 millimeters. So just a little over half of the width of this current original version. When you compare them side by side, at least in the boutique when I tried them on, it is a pretty noticeable difference. So this is the original again, but if you want something a lot more dainty, you could definitely consider the smaller version or the smaller width. So since the original love bracelets were put out, the line has really evolved into so many other different choices too. So besides the original bracelet and the small bracelet that I talked about, which actually screw on your wrist, they also make a cuff style bracelet, which does not actually screw on. They make several different styles of earrings, necklaces, pendants, in addition to link bracelets as well. So there's so many choices if you like this love theme. So hopefully I can add some more of those items to my collection, but for now I stuck with the 2 original love bracelets. In terms of sizing, I definitely recommend you going into the boutique to try this on. I made all of my purchases from Cartier in the boutique. There's just something special about going into the boutique that I just really enjoy. It's just a great experience. You get to try on different items and kind of see how the items look with your current pieces as well. So I highly, highly recommend going into the boutique to make these larger purchases. So these love bracelets come in different sizes or diameters, and they range from 15 centimeters to 21 centimeters. This particular version that I got was, I believe, the 16 centimeter version, and my wrists in general are pretty petite. And it's often hard for me to find bangles or bracelets that actually work for me, because most bangles that I just buy in the store that have just a one size tend to slip down my wrist too far for my liking. But this one you can size in a perfect way such that it does not slip down, and I absolutely love the movement that it has, but it's not too mobile. So you can really try on your perfect size when you go into the boutique, but this is a size 16 centimeters. So let me take a few minutes to show you guys these bracelets up close and show you some wear and tear. Just so you're aware, I did not clean these at all prior to shooting this video because I wanted to show you the true look of these bracelets when you wear them day to day. And like I mentioned, I never take these off. The only times I've taken these off is when I had them in the boutique to get them cleaned. And that was really only once or twice total for the lifetimes of these bracelets. So really, I have never taken these off. So the wear and tear that you're about to see is really how they truly look like on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so here are the bracelets up close, and the first one I picked up 5 years ago was this one here, and this is the yellow gold version. And the one next to it right here is the one I picked up 3 years ago, and this is a rose gold color. So you can probably see a very subtle difference between the rose and the yellow gold. It's a little bit hard to tell, and with time I believe the rose gold tends to kind of mimic the yellow gold a little more, but at least for me I can still see a very subtle difference between rose gold and the yellow gold. So besides the yellow gold and the rose gold, it also comes in a white gold, and all the gold varieties are 18 karat gold, so you can wear them and they don't tarnish on you. And there are also many different varieties and styles of diamond accents that you can pick up as well. I decided not to go with the diamond accents because I just like the simplicity, a little bit more casual nature of the straight metal versions, because my lifestyle honestly is pretty casual these days. So you'll see on the end here that there is a little screw that is different than the other sections. So there's the actual screw. So as I'll show you in a minute, this bracelet does come with a screwdriver. And what you do is you put the screwdriver in there, unscrew it on that side, flip it around, and then unscrew the other side here. And then the bracelet comes apart into 2 halves of an oval. I'm not going to actually take this apart now because, again, it's hard for me to take apart just by myself. The whole intention is somebody should be helping me with this, and my husband's not here right now. But that's how you detach the bangle. So let me just show you a few up close versions so you can check out the wear and tear. So as you can see, there are definitely scratches, and that's inevitable. but not bad. The scratches are definitely more prominent on the undersides, I would say, because of course my wrist is bumping against the countertops and different things like that. But I don't think I have any major scratches. And they've really held up quite well. So again, I had the gold one for 5 years and the rose gold one now for 3 years. So as you can see, the bracelets held up pretty well over all this time. And the only time that I actually took them off again was when I went to the boutiques to make other purchases and they cleaned them for me. So that was probably 2 or 3 times in the lifetime of these bracelets. Besides that, I really don't clean these things at all, and they've held up really, really well for me. Let me take you a few minutes to just show you guys as well how the bracelet comes, in case you're curious. So when I purchased my first gold one, I actually got it in a bag like this. And the reason is a sales associate suggested putting it in a white bag because I was going to walk around the mall some more, rather than carrying it in the classic red Cartier bag, just so that it's not so flashy, which I totally appreciated. But it does come in this beautiful Cartier red classic bag, and it comes with a couple of little accessory pieces too, but let me show you the main box. So all of these pieces do come with a beautiful Cartier card and a certificate of authenticity, which is super nice. And obviously I save all of these just for memory, and in case on the off chance you want to resell these items, you need to really have this. I really don't intend on reselling this, as I've talked about earlier, but I'm definitely going to hang on to those certificates. It comes in a really nice box like this. So here's the box it comes in, and there's a little button that you push in, and it's a little spring load here. When you open it up, your bracelet originally comes in here, and it does come along with that screwdriver that I had mentioned before. So this screwdriver is used to unscrew the end caps of the bracelet like I showed you a few minutes ago. So your partner, a person near you, a friend, family, anyone around, or even the sales associate just goes in, finds the screw on one of the ends, untwists, and then releases it, and you untwist the other side too. So there are 2 screws on each bracelet that you have to unscrew to take the bracelet off. And the nice thing about this design, which I think is different from years past, is that the newer versions, the screws do not fall off. So even though you unscrew them to loosen the bracelet, the screw remains attached to the body of the bracelet, so you cannot lose the individual screws, which is super, super nice. So this bracelet also comes with a travel pouch. So this pouch is beautiful, kind of velvet material. It has the little bracelet pillow if you want to use it, or you can use it for other jewelry too. I haven't used this at all, but it's a nice little addition they throw in. And then most times whenever I purchased my Cartier pieces, they threw in this little jewelry cleaning kit. So if you're making this purchase, definitely can ask for one of these. Again, I really don't clean my bracelets nearly as often as I probably should, but it's really nice to have this as an option. It has a little cleaning spray, a little toothbrush, a little polishing cloth. So definitely worthwhile to have them throw this in there for you if you're making one of these purchases. Okay, so I just want to wrap up with telling you guys some of my thoughts or answers to some questions that I've gotten on some previous videos about my Cartier jewelry. So one of the questions obviously is wear and tear and how do you maintain it. I touched a lot on this already, but it's inevitable that you're going to get scratches. I've seen several videos where people have just different random ways of trying to protect the bracelets. They wear cloth wristbands on the bracelets or try to protect it when they're doing their daily chores around the house. But really, scratches are inevitable. It's going to happen. This is 18 karat gold, so you cannot avoid them. So I just advise, just get over it, right? You know it's going to get scratched. There's no point in trying to baby this that much because really the intention of these pieces is to really love and enjoy them. And if you're stressed out so much about how these bracelets are going to get scratched, in my opinion, you just can't enjoy them. So really, it's going to get scratched. But as you saw in the close-ups, even though you can definitely see scratches, in my opinion, they look pretty nice and shiny. And again, I have not cleaned this recently. I don't have any major scratches, but if you do get major scratches, you are able to take your bracelets into the boutique and get them polished as well. So not to worry, if scratches really bother you, you can take them in. I would be a little cautious about taking them too often though, and the sales associates will warn you that the more you do the official deep polishing of these bracelets, you do wear away some of the gold. So I think occasionally those kind of polishes are fine, but honestly, these scratches don't bother me too much. I don't really envision myself going in there too often to get it polished. But if you're one of those people where scratches really bother you, can definitely consider getting it polished through the boutique or using one of the cleaning polishes that's provided to you that I just showed you a few minutes ago. One of the other questions people often ask, at least I wonder myself too, is how durable are these screws, right? So I am paranoid. Well, not about scratches, I'm paranoid about losing these bracelets. So I do have a coworker, honestly, that has one of these bracelets, and hers literally fell off in clinic the other day. I find that very hard to believe because I had no problems with my screws getting loose, but she says hers just falls off. So hopefully that's just a design flaw for that particular bracelet. I told her she should totally go back into the boutique and have it looked at. But for me at least, these have not even come anywhere close to getting loose on their own. So what I personally do, really just subconsciously now, is about once a day I do glance at the screws and just make sure that visually they're about where they were yesterday, or they're not unwinding on their own. I personally have come across no problems with the screws unwinding on their own, but I do like to do those visual checks. I think the one time that's riskiest for the screws to unwind is after you clean them, especially from the boutique, because whatever little dirt and grime, which sounds gross, but it's really in the screws there, gets cleaned out. Then the screws may be a little looser initially. At least that's what they tell you in the boutique. And that makes sense. So that's the one time to kind of screw them a little bit more diligently, I think, after you just get them cleaned. But if you haven't cleaned them recently, honestly, my screws have not turned on their own, and I have not been fearful at all about losing these. And I really do wear these into the ground. I mean, I have 4 kids, I work full time, I'm just like all over the place. And these haven't given me any problems at all. They do make a bangle sound. So if that bothers you, you may either just want to get one bracelet or not consider these, but they're bangles, right? So they're going to make a sound. And that's kind of how it sounds. As I'll talk about in an upcoming Just Done Clue review, if you're going to get this bracelet to stack with it, the sales associates will recommend that this goes closest to your hand so as not to scratch the love bracelets as they fall down your wrist. But when you wear the stack, they do make this little bangle sound. When I first purchased this bracelet, I thought it was a little bit on the heavy side. And that's largely because I didn't typically wear these kind of bangles on a regular basis before. So it took a little bit of time getting used to, but now I'm totally used to these. I don't notice them at all when I have them on my wrist. But initially you may notice a little bit of a change if you are not used to wearing bangles every single day. So when you first purchase these bangles, they actually also recommend that you turn your screw with your screwdriver just to lock it in place about once a week. So initially with the first one that I picked up, I tried that a little bit, but then of course I get lazy. I visually checked and the screws really weren't unwinding, so I just kind of stopped that. So I don't screw them to tighten them on my own at all in between cleanings. So at least for me, that's worked out well. I think occasionally screwing them to tighten them might make sense, but weekly just seems like super overkill for me, and who really has the time to worry about that these days? Another reason I really am hesitant about screwing it too often is there is a risk of stripping the screw like any screw. So I think that may be the problem with my coworker's bracelet. She says she obsessively kind of tightens it. So I think that may be the problem. They kind of strip the screw a little bit. That's my personal opinion. I don't know if that really is true, but I think that can happen theoretically when you screw it a little bit too often. All right, so I would say the biggest question that people always ask, and one that I was super concerned about when getting these bracelets, is when you go to the airport, do these flag in security? Because the whole idea of this bracelet is you don't take it off, right? You are not easily going to be able to take this off through airport security, right? You would need to actually get out your screwdriver to take it off. So I get this question a lot, and one that I was really wondering myself before I purchased these bracelets. And the good news is I've traveled with these many times. I've never had to take them off at airport security. So especially nowadays where you don't have to go through metal detectors, they often have just that scanner that you can go through and they can see your bracelet. It really doesn't draw any red flags. And honestly, because I mentioned earlier how oversaturated this bracelet is now, I mean, the airport security people have definitely seen this bracelet and know what it's about, and they really have had no concerns about my bracelets when I've gone through airport security. So rest assured, at least for me, I've had no issues wearing these bracelets through the security. The one time that these did beep was when I went to a hockey game and they had more of the old school type of metal detectors. It did go off and there was a poor, probably high school age student there manning the station, and he didn't really know what to do, but I told him, hey, this is just this bracelet. I mean, you can scan me with the little metal detector wand if you'd like, but he's just said, oh, all right, fine, just go ahead. So that was the only time that it actually went off in terms of security, and again, they just let me through. So overall, no concerns with security at all, at least over the past 5 years. All right, so really, what do I have to say about this bracelet, and is it worthwhile purchasing? Obviously, you can tell I love this love bracelet, right? I loved it so much that I actually got that second one 3 years ago, that rose gold one, which still is holding up really well. And I love the look of a stack like this. I just think it looks really classic, and it's something that's very versatile, and I wear them every single day. And to invest in pieces like this, you want to wear them a lot. So this is honestly my best luxury purchase to date because I wear it every single day. And that's different from designer bags or shoes where you do rotate through your items. These are just always with you, and they hold so much meaning for me. These little scratches as well are kind of the marks of my life too. So it's even more special that I have these little scratches, and I take these with me everywhere. So because of the meaning behind it, really how much wear I get out of them, I can't say enough good things about this bracelet. I would highly recommend considering this if it's within your budget. And it's something that I think you would cherish for years to come, and can definitely pass it on to your kids or family members as well. So I hope you found this video helpful in some ways and hearing my thoughts on my love bracelets. If you have any particular questions about them that I didn't address in this video, definitely leave them in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed too, because I'm going to be putting out more luxury content, and I will do an upcoming review on my Just Unclued pieces as well, in case you're curious. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!